The ability for your team to work with AI is really important. You're hiring an employee. You're going to be using AI to communicate with your customers, and you've got to really be able to customize and train that agent and give it feedback. If your employees can't pick up an escalation from AI or can't work with AI, like that's not going to probably bode well for the long-term sort of health of that employee in your dealership.
Since they've got Podium AI, they have Jerry 2.0 over there. Not only do they have an entire BDC and sales staff pounding the phones and doing that, but simultaneously, this is important, not instead of the salespeople, not instead of the BDC, but in addition to having a team of humans and having the CRM set up with automation, they have Podium AI that is proactively reaching out to everybody. Hey everybody, this is Sean B. Bradley, president of Dealer Synergy and the creator of the Millionaire Car Salesman community. And man, we are crushing it. We're selling cars like candy bars. We're working that money. And man, I was just at Lightspeed VT with a billionaire, Brad Lee, of Dropping Bombs. And I just did the Dropping Bomb show. So a new episode that's coming out on Dropping Bombs is going to be me and Cody Carter. Your boy and the number one car salesman in the world, like Duck Dodgers on planet Earth, is Cody Carter. Can you believe this guy sold 1,799 units on the showroom floor, and he broke Ali Retta's Guinness Book of World Records, and Ali broke the record in 2017. He sold 1,582 units, and he broke that record from Joe Girard that held that record for 44 years. And who cares what Joe Girard did, because he's irrelevant now, and he cried like a little bitch when Ali broke his record, you know what I mean, which is a shame. 86-year-old grown-ass man wallowing in his diapers, you know what I mean? So listen, when Cody broke Ali's record, you know what Ali did? Ali shook his hand. That's how gentlemen do. I mean, it is what it is. So again, it's inspiring to see this stuff. And this week's episode is going to be hot. All right, because the number one subject that's on planet Earth's lips right now is AI. AI. Artificial intelligence. There's so many different types of AI. You got generative AI. You got conversational AI. You got predictive AI. You've got machine learning. And so many other little derivatives. And the guy that I'm going to introduce you to after we pay these bills and we come back from break is probably, if not the leading expert in automotive for artificial intelligence, especially conversational AI. And you know what we're going to talk about today? We're going to crack into the conversation of voice AI. All right, and you know who I'm talking about, folks. You know it's Podium. Podium's in the building. Podium is the Leviathan when it comes to artificial intelligence. And when we come back from this break, we will be speaking to Podium's Vice President and General Manager, Mr. Ross Tinkham. And Ross is the man with the master plan. So when we come back from paying these bills, we're going to get into this AI conversation. And I'm telling you, when we peel back the layers, it's going to be on. We'll be right back.
This has been the most in-depth training I've had in my lot of years in the car business.
We went from 60 cars to 156 cars a month in 3 months.
NAMAD, the entire Toyota Chicago region, as well as the top automotive groups like Koons, Lithia, and Norm Reeves have all used Bradley On Demand to train their team.
They're the most comprehensive training company I've seen, and they by far have the best support system.
Doing 50 cars a month, topped out at 80. I can tell you that the Bradley On Demand training will get you to the next level.
And guess what? The world's #1 car salesman, Cody Carter, shares his exclusive strategies right here. You want his secrets? You gotta have Bradley On Demand. If you're still not enrolled in Bradley On Demand, you're missing out on the best virtual automotive training in the world. Enroll now or contact us for a free test drive of the platform today.
Hey everybody, this is SVB, and the place to be is the Millionaire Car Salesman. And I've got on our show, we're bringing him back. You ever see that Welcome Back, Kotter, that song? Or even Chunky, like Chunky's back better than before. Hey, yeah. I got Ross. Ross is on the show. What's up, Ross? Are you back, brother? What's up, man?
Sean, it's good to see you. Good to be back. Thank you very much for having me. It's been a while. But yeah, I appreciate you being you. So thrilled to be here.
Well, listen, man, it's been a little bit since we've had you on the show, but the good news is that I see you've been cooking. I mean, you and them people at Podium, you've been in that kitchen souffleing, marinating, wagyu stuff. All right, so listen, man, talking about at the right place, right time. You guys, you gambled the right way. I mean, look at how much AI has blown up, and you guys were really the leading cutting edge company in automotive, really with AI. So am I right or wrong, or has the AI investment really paid off for Podium?
Definitely. I mean, yeah, I think it's absolutely paid off. I think we've made some of the right investments along the way, and yeah, we'll talk a little bit about where we're at today and, where we're going to be making continued investments as time goes on. But this is all dealers really want to talk to us about. And so we're having a lot of conversations every day about AI, and it's a fun time, tons of change, but it's a fun thing to be a part of.
So for the people that have been living under a rock, like Patrick from SpongeBob, right? For those people, Podium is legitimately considered the automotive leading subject matter expert on conversational AI. And what that means to me as the host of the show is that you guys have a lot of clients. From my last check-in, you had over 110,000 clients. Now, that's mind-blowing. And out of those 110,000 clients, 9,000 plus are in automotive. Is that correct, Ross?
Yeah, between franchise, new car dealer, and used. Yes, that's accurate.
Listen to me. The way that I got to say this to everybody is that, look, if I'm looking at any vendor, in any category, I don't care what it is. My first question is like, who are they and why should I care? And the way that I'm going to assess that is how long have they been in business? I don't care how smart you are. I'm sorry, I'm a little prejudiced. If you just started your company in the last 6 months or 2 years, then I'm a little bit skeptical because how can you be really great if you hadn't had enough experience, trial and error, what works, what doesn't work, tweaking, that type of stuff. So I think that there's a lot of value being in business for all the years that you've been at the level you have. But now having 9,000 car dealers, so not only are you a Leviathan when it comes to technology, text messaging, artificial intelligence, but your audience, you're not a one size fits all. Automotive. You guys bleed gasoline at Podium. So you have a ton of clients that are on here. And from understanding, you are on now the 2.0 version. So Jerry was the first real AI, but then, for Podium, but then now you have Jerry 2.0.
Yeah.
Can you just give us a bottom line? Can you just give us a quick synopsis? What is Jerry 2.0? And if you could give me the executive highlights, what makes 2.0 better than the original Jerry?
This episode is brought to you by Podium. Every lead that hits your dealership is a chance to sell another car or book a service appointment, but only if someone's there to answer. Meet Jerry, Podium's AI employee. Jerry responds instantly to every incoming lead, day or night, answers questions accurately, qualifies the buyer, and books the appointment, all before your competition has even seen the form fill. And when it's time to hand off to your team, the transition is so seamless, your customers won't know they were ever talking to an AI. Dealerships running Podium are turning missed opportunities into measurable revenue. See how at podium.com/MCS. That's podium.com/MCS, or click the link in the show notes below.
So we've really been truly, I think, in market. I think we have all of our customers on our most recent version at this point in time. We rolled it out last fall, and I think, you pointed to experience and the things you learn along the way. I think one of the biggest learnings for us along the way was that if you're going to be using AI to communicate with your customers, I think the right framework to view it through is you're hiring an employee, right? It just happens to not be a live human. In this case, we're talking about an AI employee, and you've got to really be able to customize and train that agent and give it feedback. I think feedback is really critical, the same way you do any of your people. It's how we all level up and get better. And so what that really enabled us to do was essentially fully customize the dealer's agent to be whatever it is they wanted it to be. And what I mean by that are, sure, how is it going to handle certain types of questions? How's it going to handle like Kelly Blue Book ICO lead versus a Car Gurus lead? Those are two different things. How do you want to handle in-state versus out-of-state buyers? Like there's so many things that each dealer really wants to customize because their processes are different. The types of customers they're seeking and willing to engage with are different, and you can really train AI to qualify and disqualify those opportunities for you before they ever hit the hands of a human. But really, it comes back to the ability to fully customize, train, and give feedback to an agent. You got to think of it the same way you do training a person, training a real life human. So.
No, that's such a good way to think about this. But let's be honest, man. I'm a car guy. Like, who the hell wants to hear that, though? You know what I mean? Like, I thought we're hiring magic beans. I got to train this freaking thing too. Like, what the fuck? Like, what's the point of like giving you all this money? Like, and so no, I'm playing facetious devil's advocate here because like I can't believe how freaking delusional car dealers are. I'm sorry. I'm talking to you and you at the Doritos, you too. I mean, like if you really think that you're going to hire somebody that's going to magically give you some magic beans and you just freaking you blow on them and there goes your money, man, you're sadly mistaken. Did you hear what the man just said? You have to understand that you've got to train your AI. And you know what's crazy though? I respect Podium because there's so many of these fugazi, shitty ass AI companies out there that are just lying to dealers that are saying, oh, all you need is AI and we'll do everything. Guys, don't believe them because if you believe that, you need to be sold the Brooklyn Bridge because AI is not magical. Like anything else, what you get out of it is what you put into it. So just like with a CRM, I've said over and over again that 90+% of people that have CRM dealers are not set up correctly, not utilizing it correctly. Either the processes are old, antiquated, broken, incomplete, don't make sense, etc. So it's not the CRM, it's how do you set up the CRM? How do you customize the CRM? Do you train on the CRM? Do you force accountability on the CRM? If not, then your CRM sucks. Your CRM strategy sucks. Same thing with AI. You could have the world's best AI, but if you don't train that knowledge base, if you don't play strategic chess with the different types of questions, the different types of answers, if you don't tweak and massage that so it's got the best user experience, the best customer experience, the best prospect experience, it's on you. Ross, am I correct? And if so, can you elaborate on what I'm saying?
Yeah, no, I mean, I'm 100% aligned. I think, listen, what you get out of the box from us, like, is very good. Just to be clear, let's call it 80% of the way there. If we're going to pick how far along is it, 80% of the way there, you're going to be really happy with what you see. But again, the reality is the way that you want to manage your sales process. If someone's looking to schedule a test drive, this is primarily what we do, right? Engage leads, you're interested in inventory, guide them, find something they want to come take a look at in the dealership. But some dealers really want to qualify that customer in like a 3 or 4 step process before we're ever going to ask them for the appointment. Some dealers just want to go for the jugular and ask for the appointment. I think the perspective we've taken is either approach is okay. I don't know your process. I'm not going to necessarily, like, we'll give you advice along the way, but we want to make sure whatever process is working for you and your team, like that can just be replicated with the AI agent that you're handling. And sure, there's some work involved, but here's the cool thing. A lot of the work involved happens in the first 30 to 60 days, and you don't have to ever go back and do it again, which is far different than a person where you have to go back and remind and, make sure you're underscoring the things that are important for them, you need them to be doing. So that work never ends. The work with AI does end at some point. And then once you're really deep into it and you spent the time to build this employee to your standards, you're really just tweaking as things change and as time goes on. Or, hey, we've got a new manufacturer incentive this month that didn't exist last month. Let's make it really easy for AI to be able to speak to that if a customer's inquiring. Like those are the types of things that are your never-ending journey, but those are the types of things that change month to month, and you need AI to be able to speak to intelligently so you don't, sink a deal or articulate something inaccurate to a potential customer. So that makes sense. Any questions on that?
Yeah, I just want to make sure that I'm on the same page. So again, whether it's Podium or any AI out the box, what you want to be able to do is once you sign up with an AI company, you want to understand, in my opinion, its full capability. So for example, if I'm using Podium's BDC resource, like to follow up with leads.
Yep.
What does that mean? That it's going to automate AI conversations, like AI emails or AI text messages. So what I would say is that the first thing that needs to get done is I need to understand what are the frequencies and what is the gestation, meaning, okay, in 30 days, like we're in May right now. So from May 1st to the end of May, how many days, is a rhetorical question, how many days is the Podium AI going to deploy? Is it going to be once a day, or is it going to be maybe one AI email a day and maybe one AI text message a day? So technically that's 2 activities a day. How many days? So what you've got to first understand, in my opinion, is what are the potential capabilities? What are the activities? What is the frequency, etc.? And then once you benchmark that, you need to make sure that you've trained the knowledge base, to the umpteenth level. And there's different ways to do that. That's either by, providing OEM information. For example, if you've got any type of stop the clocks or any type of rules of engagements for the OEM or the preferred way to follow up, the more that you can load up your AI knowledge base with every detail of OEM compliancy, OEM righteousness, if you can make the OEM happy, it's not going to hurt you. Second is you want to give as much information about rebates, incentives, specs, codes, options, anything that's your value package. What's differentiator? What's better from everything else? So what we do at Dealer Synergies, we understand that the top 8 reasons that people are calling, emailing, or expecting are price, availability, convenience, I hate car salesman, research, trade, and credit, and experience. And we have at least 10 different, literally, rebuttals or responses for each. So that right there is 80 different strategic things that we're programming in. Value package, all that's in there. All the potential questions. You could even use ChatGPT or Google Gemini to play chess. What are the most frequently asked questions that somebody can get on the website or in internet and BDC? Once I get all that stuff, once I program and set up my knowledge base, depending, from my understanding from you guys, what package, if they are on Podium's online reputation or text message, now it's not just what's in the CRM, the notes, but if they are your AI, Jerry can scrape all the online reputation stuff, all of the chat information from the website, all of the CRM history. Once you're able to scrape and consolidate and aggregate all that information, all of this, whatever has been already naturally programmed into AI, everything that's been programmed to the knowledge base, and everything it's able to consolidate or extrapolate, all of that gets put into this crock pot of AI, and AI can now use that to build rapport, build common ground, engage, humanize itself, and ultimately help you go down the funnel of engagement and conversion. Am I understanding the trajectory of this? Did I misspeak, or am I spot on? Am I off?
No, I think you're on point. I think so in that whole kind of equation of lots of different data sources, past conversations with the customer. Here's a really great thing is that, let's just say this customer inquires for a car. There's some engagement. They don't end up buying. Something happens. I don't know, whatever it is. 6 months later, that customer comes back and inquires again. AI is not going to forget, right? So like, hey, you're back. You were interested in this. Sounds like the timing wasn't right. Now you're interested in this. And so if there was information like in discovery of how many children do you have? What are you looking for in terms of size of a vehicle? Like, what is your budget range? Like any of those breadcrumbs, AI won't forget that, which is really nice because that context typically isn't going to carry over if that customer came in, as a fresh up and the salesperson that worked with them wasn't part of that, that conversation that happened 6 months ago. And so that's where AI gets really powerful, is it remembers the context. Or, as we continue to understand your cadence, how do you like to follow up with customers? Program AI to align with that. And it's going to remember that it's no more like peanut butter spread messaging. Like, it's going to be customized to whatever the conversation started with that customer. So that's, I think, where people maybe have been underwhelmed in the past, is it's been very robot-like or not remembering what's happened in the past. I think where we've made leaps and bounds is ensuring all that context never gets lost. The other really important thing too, and then I'll stop, is that the ability for your team to work with AI is really important, because where we started was, this is an employee that you're hiring. And so if your employees can't pick up an escalation from AI or can't work with AI, like, that's not going to probably bode well for the long-term sort of health of that employee in your dealership. And so we've made a lot of investment to We take everything that's happening, we put it in the CRM, but there's other really important things like taking an escalation from AI, making that seamless pass off to a human, giving that customer a note. Here's everything, or that dealership employee a note. Here's everything that we've covered. Now this customer wants to know out the door pricing, so we're passing this to you or a sales manager, but you don't need to go back and read through the conversation to figure out what's happened. Like you get the bullets there and can just pick up the phone, give that customer a call, and you know exactly what's gone on up to that point in the conversation.
So here's a stat that kind of blew my mind. 60% of car buyers are doing their real shopping after your dealership closes. Late at night, weekends, on their phones, texting questions, asking about inventory, ready to buy. And if nobody answers, they just move on to the next dealer. Podium fixes that. It's an AI lead engine built specifically for dealerships. It answers every text, every web lead, every Facebook message in under a minute, 24/7 in your store's voice. Books test drives, qualifies buyers, hands warm leads to your team. I've talked to dealers using this thing. They're booking 40% more appointments without adding headcount. Now that is wild.
Brother, 100,000,000%, we're on the same page. So my next thing, and then we're going to dive in, but I want to say this. I feel, and Ross, this has happened with us, with our mutual client before, is that I don't think enough dealers, especially the dealer side, understands that this is a trifecta now. I'm going to repeat that, a trifecta. You've got three main things. I'm throwing up the Jay-Z Rockefeller diamond right here. Rockefeller, baby, is this, okay? In the triangle, you've got CRM. And I'm not saying AI is more important than CRM, but you have a CRM. Let's just use Vin Solutions as an example, or Promax, or whatever. Like, hey, let's say Promax, right? You've got a great Promax CRM. The CRM has tasks and activities, for the agent, sales rep or BDC rep or whoever. And then it's got automation, automated emails, automated text messages. In my professional opinion, it's not even close. Artificial intelligence is 10 times better than static or templated content. Why? Because it's real time. Theoretically, it could be real time. It could gather and pull from field intelligence, whether it's online reputation, chat, notes, or whatever. It's able to encompass all this information, customize it in real time, yada, yada, yada. Here's the other thing I think that's really important with that. You have the ability to interact and take somebody down like a funnel. So again, if I set up Podium AI text messages or AI emails, it's not just a template. It's something that could be deployed, and depending on what somebody says, it could respond accordingly. So if it sends a text message or email, depending on what the prospect says or how it engages, it's almost like pick your own ending. The AI is going to pick the best thing it feels to do to get us down down the funnel of either making an appointment or selling a car. So I think that AI automation is the most important, but here's the challenge. I know that other companies, for example, like Impel or like Simp Social, all the other AI companies that are out there that are nowhere near as big as you guys or more experienced. But what I'm finding is that each one of you AI companies has your own, I don't want to say algorithm, but has your own schedule, your own playbook, your own deployment. And so if you guys are going to send out, let's just say 17 attempts in the first 30 days or 15 attempts, whatever that might be, from my understanding, the AI companies are not going to just change that for a particular dealership or dealer group. That's their formula. So in my opinion, here's what I suggest to people listening. It's not should I, it's duh. You have to have a CRM, duh. You have to have AI, duh. And you have to have humans, duh, right? So if you're going to have all three of those, I think that AI is the most important thing. It's the most advanced, the most powerful technology on planet Earth right now. So I would say step one in your overall follow-up engagement strategy is to have a really solid source for AI. Let's just say Podium. I want to find out from Podium, what is the cadence, what is the frequency, or what are the playbook? And whether I like it or I don't like it, I need to understand and respect, here's what Podium's schedule is going to be. What I'm recommending to my audience, it's my show, is to say, okay, again, if you want more activities. Now, me personally at Dealer Synergy, I'm going to want more than what's just out of the box with any AI, including Podium. Yep. So first, I want to make sure that I'm maximizing Podium for its 17 days or whatever it is. Now what I do is I do a gap analysis, and any days within the first 31 days that I'm not going to have a Podium AI or an AI activity, then what I would do is I would map that to be automated in the CRM. So me personally, I want day 1 through day 30. The first 30 days, I want an automated activity every freaking day. I first choose to have it through AI, but if there's a day that the AI doesn't cover that coverage or that activity, I want to kind of, layer that with CRM. And here's what my goal is. I would like to take away as much of the organic or tier 1 activities from humans. I would love to automate AI and or CRM automation for all initial emails and text messages, and preferably videos that are strategically put in there. Why? Because if I could automate emails, phone calls, text messages, things like that, then my humans could be tasked to do higher level activities like phone call,
Yeah.
or like leave strategic personalized voicemail messages, or create personalized video emails or video text messages, or use social media DMs like Facebook DM, LinkedIn DM, TikTok DM, WhatsApp DM, etc. Or they could do Apple FaceTimes, or they could send e-cards. So my whole thing is, and I want your opinion on this, I want to do it all. Like the military doesn't just send Delta Force and Navy SEALs. They've got submarines, they got aircraft carriers, they got the water, they've got the bombs getting dropped, they've got artillery, they got tanks, and they got Navy SEALs and Delta. They have it all. They're not going to go eeny, meeny, miny, mo. Trump's like, send them all. I want to send up my full military. I want the Army, the Reserves, the National Guard, hell, the Coast Guard. Hell, if I could get the French Foreign Legion to help me too, who cares? My point is, I want to get all resources. So, Ross, do you like my idea? And if so, how does that fall into your world at Podium?
Yeah, no, I mean, I think so. The theme there was there's a lot of places your people could be spending their time. And so the opportunity that 100% exists is to remove the mundane, repeatable tasks. And then just, I guess, from a follow-up cadence perspective, part of what we're talking about onboarding and training your AI, but we also need to understand what your follow-up cadences are today, have a conversation about where do you want AI inserted, what are the tasks left for humans. And so, yeah, we can go down whatever path makes sense to the customer, and that follow-up can go on forever. Like, we don't put limitations on that. But again, the theme being that there's a lot of other high value personalized outreach that can be happening. I mean, let's just say, for the sake of a scenario, over the course of a month, you get 500 leads. 80% of those are pretty cut and dry. This customer wants to schedule a test drive. You have something they're interested in. Like, AI is going to go ahead and schedule those test drives. It's going to take the other 20% where we need some help from a human and put that in front of your team so they know where to focus. In addition to that, to all the points you just made, there's a lot of other more personalized outreach that can be happening through other channels where I think you want to redeploy your people, especially the phone. Like, we don't do anything with outbound AI calls yet today. I think there's some companies that do. How's that going to work out? I don't know. People are hesitant in a lot of cases to take a call from a human, and so we've stayed really on the channel of text or email. And we'll have to see what the appetite for voice AI is as time goes on. I'm sure it will increase, but I think we're trying to be really cautious about AI picking up the phone and dialing when that's still.
Well, you know why too, Ross? There's some serious laws, like because I'm deep in this right now because of my outsourced call center. You understand there's a lot of regulation on power dialers, preview dialers, predictive dialers. Like, these are heavily regulated state and federally.
Yeah.
Because I mean, like, Jesus Christ, every time I turn my phone, like I it's annoying every time I have a robo call. And if you think about it, whether it's a robo-human calling from Guatemala or the Philippines, or it's a robo-AI, regardless, the robo stuff is annoying because it's like you're getting worn out. Now, for me, my personal thing is, look, if I apply for something, like, not shame on me, but I kind of expect somebody's going to follow up.
Yeah.
What I really hate right now, and there's the difference in my world versus like these telemarketers that, I never reached out to, like the insurance people or my credit line people, all these people that are just taking a shot and literally cold calling me. That's the reason why, in my opinion, Ross, I don't believe that your company or any company's really taken on voice calling outbound. There is voice inbound. It's a lot easier. I know a bunch of companies that I'm seeing that when you call a dealership, AI is answering and they're basically qualifying you, and they can make a service appointment or queue you up with a service BDC rep or something like that.
Yep.
But that's reacting to phone calls to the dealership. I still have not seen AI outbound phone calls yet. And I believe because they're still trying to work out the legality, because there's so many companies that are not AI that still can't get past the robo dialing. That's what the government is stopping, the ability to mass call people at the same time. Have you heard of anything different, or am I on the same page with you, or what are your thoughts?
I think you're on the same page. And I guess practically speaking, there's so much value to extract out of what's coming inbound and getting missed. Like that, start there before you start, trying to mess around with how do we leverage AI or something like that outbound. There's just generally so much falling through the cracks on the inbound side. But that's where I think we focused our time. So you're dropping less there. And when we think of voice, like the amount of phone calls generally still flowing into the service drive, and those folks are understaffed and they're running around like crazy, and they're still manually entering a ton of data for every RO they've got to close. Like they're busy. And if someone's just calling to schedule an appointment or looking for an update on their car, like that's a great starting point to think about using voice, where you're not going to miss a phone call ever again. That'd be pretty cool if you could put yourself in that position. So
let me do this because this is confusing. Let me clear this up for the audience here. So I want to be clear. There's so many different types of AI, and especially like with Podium, what they are really superb experts on is on the outbound side is the AI emails and the AI text messages.
Yep.
And depending on how you have it connected, it's not just the ability to send templates that are interactive. It's deeper than that. It's able to scrub the chat, the website, the online reputation, all of the CRM notes, all of the communications. It's able to kind of link it all together like Terminator, pretty much. It's off of one AI, mindset, so to speak, and it's able to think, create strategies, and create conversation. So I would say that, just so the audience understands, Podium is phenomenal, what's called conversational AI, but that on the outbound is emails and text messages. And Ross, correct me if I'm wrong. I want to get people excited about this because I'm freaking excited about the fact that it's omnipresent. So if you are a larger store, let's just say, for example, I know one of our mutual clients it's a freaking major Honda dealership. So one of our mutual clients is McGrath City Honda in downtown Chicago, part of a 14 rooftop, $500 million dealer group, the McGrath Auto Group. So this is a real big player, right, in Chicago. So they're on Podium. And what happens is this, I'm going to tell you right now, they get over 1,000 leads a month at a single point, Honda store in Chicago, right? So what happens, audience, listen to this. Since they've got Podium AI, they have Jerry 2.0 over there. Not only do they have an entire BDC and sales staff pounding the phones and doing that, but simultaneously, this is important, not instead of the salespeople, not instead of the BDC, but in addition to having a team of humans and having the CRM set up with automation, they have Podium AI that is proactively reaching out to everybody. So it's like having an entire other team, an invisible artificial intelligence follow-up team that on a day-to-day basis is emailing and text messaging over 1,000 people pretty much on a consistent basis without breaking a sweat. And without breaking any labor laws or making a mistake or whatever. Am I exaggerating or am I being brutally honest here?
No, you're being brutally honest for sure. I know we spent a lot of time talking about inbound, but outbound considered in a couple ways. Like we support dealers who want to do outbound text campaigns because there's something specific they want to promote to a segment of their database. So great, they respond. AI engages. We'll schedule the appointment. It's very much hands off. I think the other thing, just to pick an example, is like, all right, we are down used inventory. We want to spend a lot of time at the auction. Let's get some of our folks come and due for that lease. Maybe there's something unique we can do with an early lease pull ahead, feed our used inventory and get another transaction with the customer and get them to something they want to be driving more. Awesome. So, you can send it to a whole bunch of people at once. You can basically pick, who do I want to target based on what do I want this message to really say? And then AI can handle the rest. And yeah, just another way to pull more revenue out of that.
Right, so I'm going to ask you a bunch of questions, and we're going to go through this like quick. I'm going to ask a bunch of stuff. Okay, so Let's say I'm at McGrath City Honda and I've got 1,000 leads, I could use AI to help my sales team and my BDC make additional outbound, because at the end of the day, we know this: the more people we reach out to, more emails, phone call, text, the more outbound, more connections, more appointments, more confirmations, more shows, more sales. So to me, this is like the circle of life, Lion King, Hakuna Matata, right?
Yeah.
It's each activity builds on to a next activity, which builds on the next activity till we sell a car. So my thing is here, yes or no? By having AI, it could dramatically increase the volume of outbound attempts, outbound emails, outbound text messages, outbound videos, outbounds. Yes or no?
Yes.
Okay, so that's really powerful. So again, that's going to increase. Next question is this. You just said something that I could have this not just handle. Let's use my Honda store, right, in Chicago. So not only can this handle new Honda leads, not only can this handle used Honda leads, CPOs, which are certified pre-owned Honda leads, not only could it handle hand raisers and OEM stuff, it could even also handle what? Special finance, right? It could handle all types of leads if it's programmed the right way, correct?
Correct. Yeah. That's
Okay.
we program it by lead source. So yeah.
So not just following up new car leads, used car leads, or special finance leads. I could also, based on that, could set this up for trade-ins like Kelly Blue Book Instant Cash Offer trade-ins, or True Car Trade, or VinQ trading program, or Facebook Marketplace trades, or acquisitions. Correct?
Yeah, we have some folks that just use it at like a distinct buying center. So yes, it can do all those things.
We could also use this for unsold showroom traffic. Again, NADA says that there's a 50% closing ratio on B-back. So all the people that don't go to the dealership go to the dealership and don't get spotted, we could turn around and unleash AI for a very aggressive unsold showroom traffic strategy, correct?
Correct.
Okay, so prior customers, we could turn around and set up AI to work all of our prior customers, but most importantly, the ones that get really dropped through the cracks are something called orphan owners. NADA says that an orphan owner or prior customer is a 65% closing ratio. Just because they didn't get spotted by you as a salesperson, if these people bought a car at your dealership, these are hugely missed opportunities. So we could use AI to follow up with orphan owners, something that we could say, hey, create for me a list of anybody that's no longer a salesperson at the dealership. I'm taking over all these people's leads. I could have AI basically say, hey, my name is Gus. I'm AI, but your salesperson Bob is no longer here. I'm here if you need me. So we could set up AI to do unsold showroom traffic, and we could do orphan owners, correct?
Absolutely. Yes, absolutely.
Okay. Service you mentioned before. We could use this. There's a whole category of service people that have never purchased a vehicle. They're literally called service unsold customers. These are people that only have done ROs, repair orders, but have never purchased a vehicle. I could take all my service customers who never bought a car, and I could unleash Podium's AI to reach out to those people and try to flip them into a vehicle. Is that correct?
That's correct. Yeah, there's a lot of, I think, interesting stuff we're working on in terms of equity position folks are in anyway. So yeah, absolutely, and
So data mining, equity mining, lease retention, I could do all of this in AI, correct?
Yeah, you could. And generally, I mean, these are people who are just kind of sitting there and no one's tapping on them. And so for
what about this? What about Cody Carter? And bro, I'm telling you this on air again. The guy just broke the Guinness Book of freaking Records. He sold 1,799 units officially. If I were you, I would give him your Podium shit for free, like a pair of Nikes, and he's Jordan, and have him repping your sneakers. I don't know how many times I can tell you that, guys, because can you imagine? I told him that too. I said he should be hitting you up. The guy sold 1,799 units with only two assistants and no AI. Can you imagine if you unleashed, Jerry 2.0 into Cody's thing? Can you imagine if Podium was part of him breaking 2,000? Officially, there has been no human being on planet Earth, third rock from the sun, that's ever sold as many cars in the history of mankind. I know that sounds dramatic, but it's true. So let's figure out how we can get Cody to sell some more cars using some AI, because my God, that sounds phenomenal. What do you think?
Yes, I'm on board. I appreciate you pushing on that one again.
All right, good.
If you're looking for the absolute best automotive sales training from the #1 millionaire car salesman in the world, Cody Carter, who sold 1,408 units in 2023 and made $1.2 million in personal income, make sure you sign up for Cody's 24/7 video on-demand training, tracking, and testing certification program, Sell Like Cody. That's right, Sell Like Cody is on Bradley On Demand. Cody covers absolutely everything in his successful selling process. If you want to learn how to sell more cars, more often, and more profitably, enroll now at bradleyondemand.com or contact Dealer Synergy today.
Thank you for calling Doing It Wrong Motors. How can I help you?
I was looking at the tan 2023 GMC Terrain. You guys still have that?
Oh, sorry. That vehicle's been sold.
Could this be happening at your dealership? Get the Dealer Synergy team to handle calls the right way. We'll gather all the information, drop it in the CRM, set a solid appointment with notes, so all you have to do is sell. Do yourself a favor and go to dealersynergy.com for a free demo.
And no more of this burning through phone-ups nonsense.
Now, let's go back to what you were saying before, the inbound, because I feel like we've talked really thoroughly about Jerry 2.0. We understand how we could use AI as an omnipresent, side-by-side BDC, where it could do outbound emails, outbound text messages, outbound videos, etc. What about inbound? So you have the ability for AI voice to take inbound sales calls now and service calls?
Well, sales calls we're really just routing to the sales line. So we will be getting there with a more refined offering. On services where we focused all of our effort and engineering. And so,
can you talk to me about that? I'm listen to me, folks. I know that some of you people are sales focused, but remember this: NADA has a formula where 65% of what they suggest is 65% of the dealership's profits or revenue, I should say, should be coming from fixed operations, right? And 100% of the revenue from fixed operations should be able to financially support the entire dealership. All of the expenses, salary, technology, marketing, everything should be paid. Like every expense from the dealership should be paid from the revenue generated from fixed operations, which means the revenue from variable operations from sales should technically be the net profit of a dealership. So the reason why I'm telling you that, you might not care, but service is important. Even if service is not important to you right now, if you're an automotive professional and you want to have a career, you need to respect and understand fixed operations. So again, with that being said, think about this. People are going to spend way more time ownership of the vehicle and servicing the vehicle than they ever will in shopping or buying the car. So you need to make sure that you have a healthy environment and fixed. And I want to say one last thing before I turn it back over to Ross. During the pandemic, remember, every single dealership in the United States, even in Pennsylvania, deemed fixed operations as an essential business. So that is really big because the planet Earth was tested at this pandemic. And during a global pandemic, when we couldn't get toilet paper, we couldn't leave our houses, one of the few entities on planet Earth that was allowed were car dealerships, the fixed stops, the service department, parts department, because we humans, Americans, need their vehicles to get to work, get to the grocery store, get to the hospital, do this, do that. So with that being said, if you double down, especially with AI, with service, you have a recession-proof, pandemic-proof business model. Now, with that being said, Ross, tell us all the exciting things that you guys are doing for voice AI service, and what are you doing? How is it working? And how do dealers get a part of this?
Yeah, I mean, I can happy to give you the number to give a call, Sean, if you like,
for sure,
following this just to test it out. But I think just envision a scenario where I'm calling in, need to schedule maybe some basic service on my car. So we connect to the DMS. We know who that customer is. We know what vehicle they're driving. Like, we do have some basic information about who they are. So that phone call is picked up. We confirm that information that we're pulling from their customer record, and then essentially asking them, what is it they need help with today? What service are they looking to schedule? We'll also then integrate with the service scheduler. So based on what the customer is looking to schedule, we'll know availability. We'll be able to suggest times to them for what they're looking to come in for. Or if it's a more complex service request, the customer's got like a check engine light on, they don't really know what they need. Those are things that we will pass to a service advisor to guide the customer and ensure we're getting them in to see the right tech based on their problem. So again, about 80% of what you're going to get on an inbound phone call for service is pretty basic stuff. It takes that off the plate. And I think the other important part is just the amount of missed phone calls. I do have a stat I need to maybe validate, but $1 million per year in missed revenue opportunity just by the amount of missed phone calls at a dealership is the national average. It's a lot of money we're talking about. And so a lot of it's just picking up the freaking phone when someone's calling, which is impossible to do unless you've got a fully staffed service BDC. And even then you're probably missing calls throughout the day. So a lot of it's, we talked about a lot of the outbound opportunity. We can do things like service handoffs. Once a car's sold, we're now doing the handoff to service to ensure that first service appointment gets scheduled. Defected customers who are probably going to a Jiffy Lube or wherever, getting those folks back into the service drive. And then on the inbound side, really managing the amount of phone volume that's typically flowing in on any given day, or they're calling after hours because you're not open 24 hours a day, or you live in a state where you're closed on Sundays, right? And so there's usually a lot of lift there just by making sure you're staffed to answer that phone at all times.
So what would you recommend if you were, let's just say I'm a dealer and I'm trying to get better at my service or service BDC, and I'm listening to this podcast and I'm hearing AI, and I keep hearing AI everywhere. AI. It's like Robitussin, like Chris Rock, everything. Your eye itches, Robitussin. Your back hurts, Robitussin. Your foot hurts, Robitussin. You're yawning, Robitussin. If you think about it, am I right or wrong? The AI is the new Robitussin. AI does everything for everything, everybody, everywhere, every day.
Well,
so
yeah.
That's what it feels like right now. It's AI exhaustion. But let's just say that I'm listening and something in this conversation, this interview resonated with me. And I'm like, you know what? I'm going to give this guy Ross a call. Ross, where do I start? So I'm a typical dealer. Let's profile. I have a 100-car store. I am an import dealer. Okay. How do you recommend where do I start? Okay. Is there a certain package that I get? What's like, if I call up, I'm like, I just say I need AI or I need AI for service. What do I say when I call up Podium and say I want some AI? Like, how do I articulate what I want and my expectations?
Well, I think the most important thing here's what our job is to do. It's to really understand, like, okay, like you're selling 100 cars a month. Like, what is your goal for the year? Like, what are your objectives? Right? Is it to drive revenue for the service drive in a certain direction? Or are you just simply looking to handle maybe a human capital issue, and your decision is I either need to go hire another person or use AI to supplement my current team in place? So I think the most important thing is to figure out where we can probably add the most value out of the gate. If you haven't used AI before, maybe it doesn't make sense to do something dealership wide and focus on sales and service. Maybe we just start with sales. So I think a lot of it's dependent upon sort of where you're at, the problems you're looking to solve. And then from there, coming up with here's strategy. Here's where we start. These sound like your most important problems to solve, or we need to get sales volume up. So let's focus there. Or I don't know, maybe the service drive's currently kind of a dumpster fire. We've had a changeover in leadership, and like we just need some help getting customers the information they need when they call. And so, yeah, I mean, to me, it's dependent upon what's your baseline. What are you really looking to solve? For a lot of folks, it's both. I mean, I think where you want to end up with AI is a single employee that helps manage the sales and service journey, because that's when that sort of full cycle of the customer, all that context lives with AI. If you're using two companies, one serving sales and one serving service, you're not going to get that connectivity, right? You're going to lose context between the two. I think seeing a lot of dealers focus as a single agent they can use for both sales and service. And those are generally a lot of the conversations we're having today. So
I love it. All right, let's flip flop to the sales side. Now that you got me squared away on the service side, here's the situation, man. Like, tell me you've never heard this before. Help, Ross! I got too many leads. I'm drowning. I got enough people, and the people I do have suck. You know what I mean? They're not making phone calls, not making appointments. They're not listening. I mean, like, it's hard to find quality people. And I spent all this time, researching, and we finally get an interview. I hire them, and then they flake out. You know what I mean? So tell me you don't hear that we, like, dealer after dealer, state after state, it's like a freaking another pandemic, a pandemic of mediocrity. Like, there's so many people out there that say that they have too many leads, not enough people, and the people that they have, they're not trained properly. You know what I mean? Because for so many years, they didn't have to train, they didn't have to practice, they didn't have to build value. All they needed was to have inventory and sell it at sticker over sticker. Now that those days are over, we are left with a lot of unprepared salespeople and unprepared BDC reps. So how can I use AI to help me with internet leads and sales and B-backs like we talked about? So on the sales side, how can I set up Jerry 2.0 to be able to help me? Give us the formula, give us the way that I use Podium AI to get as many appointments and sales as I can. How do I use AI and Jerry the right way on the sales side?
Yeah, so I think for given that scenario, I mean, what that dealer probably has is, I mean, at the heart of it, a conversion problem. Like, I'm getting 1,000 leads a month. We're not probably answering all those. We're not following up with those effectively. And so we're setting some of our money on fire from a marketing standpoint. And so number one would be take every internet lead that comes into that dealership, and AI is the first line of defense. It's the first engagement with that lead every single time, not just after hours, but all day, every day. It gives you consistency and response time. No one inquires and doesn't get a response, in more than 60 seconds. So let's ensure your baseline is that we're connecting with every customer in a minute or less. Like, that's where we start. And then I think from there it becomes a conversation of where do we redeploy the people? Who's going to handle the escalations when AI needs help? Whose job is that? What are the humans going to be doing with AI now answering every single lead? I think part of that is driven by leadership at the dealership. You don't want a scenario where you hire AI and it's fighting for an appointment against your people. That seems like a waste of time. So probably evaluating the comp plan for some of those folks and figuring out where they're going to focus, because they're not taking that first inquiry every time. AI is now doing that. So that's the starting point. It's just, let's make sure every lead's getting the attention it deserves and it's happening in a timely manner. And then we start to talk about who do we want to outbound to, right? Where's the low-hanging fruit in your database? Is anyone touching that today? What are you currently doing to market to these folks? And then building a plan for outbound based on where you have gaps. But it's always starting with, people are always missing stuff on the inbound side, and that's always step one in the conversation.
You said something, and I don't know if I misunderstood you or you're my spirit animal and we're in sync here. You said something about a dealer would just need a person to use AI. I think that obviously AI is a very powerful resource, and I think that humans that really understand AI, specifically prompting and things like that, would be a real asset to the dealership. So here's what I'm thinking is that if dealers are not starting to look for humans, employees that are AI trained or AI capable, what the hell are you waiting for? Meaning, I want to have employees that truly understand ChatGPT, Google Gemini, how to use Nano Banana, how to use ChatGPT integrated with Canva, how to use Claude. Oh my God, the stuff that I'm doing right now, like just a dealer synergy. Like, we're taking spreadsheets, dropping into Claude and creating freaking software databases. I mean, access databases and developing software just straight out of spreadsheets. It's crazy. So Mike, there's a question somewhere wrapped in there. I apologize. Here's a question. Do you believe that dealers should be either hiring people now that have AI experience, AI knowledge, AI prompting, or if they don't find somebody like that, start to take one of their employees and start to put them through AI training, AI prompting, and things like that? Not only so they could, because if I had an employee like that, think about this for a second, not only could they help me with non-vendor shit like, Podium or whatever tool that I have, or drive-centric CRM that's got AI in it, but like, it would help for everything else, like, calendar stuff, organization, automation, again, through those type of things. But if somebody is capable of all that stuff, I mean, like, my God, like how awesome would that be to work with Podium to help us customize Podium's knowledge base, or help them with this or help them with that? So do you believe that dealers need to start either hiring or starting to really train AI proficiency, or not yet?
No, I think that's a great question. I guess, to be clear, like, no AI expertise required to train your Podium agent. Like, you're not running a prompt. You just need to be able to type in English and tell the agent what you want it to do, and it will do it. But with that said, yeah, I think in terms of your hiring profile, most dealerships don't have someone in seat who maybe is someone who kind of plays around with it, but there's so much room to optimize all sorts of different things in the dealership that having someone walk in the door with some basic understanding of how to use different AI tools is extremely beneficial. And so, yeah, I would really encourage you to add that to your hiring profile. Find someone who's got some knowledge and can use it can help to train the rest of the team. But more importantly, look at what are the different processes we're running in the dealership that we could be using AI for. Probably a lot of time and money to be saved just by taking a look at that. So yeah, Sean, I think that's a great idea. No one's asked me that before.
But think about this for a second. You know that the UAE, right? The United Arab Emirates is the first country to make ChatGPT free for every single citizen in that country, the paid version. So think about that. That's how advanced that they are, that they have literally provided paid ChatGPT for every citizen in the UAE. Why are they doing that? Because they understand whoever is going to be able to dominate AI is going to have a competitive edge.
Yep.
Whoever is utilizing AI is going to have an unfair competitive advantage. So it is no longer my opinion, should we use AI or not? That's stupid. Should we drink water? Should we breathe air? Duh. The answer is yes. It's more like, man, if you don't do this, how soon before your competition is kicking your booty because they're doing this the right way? That's where I'm at. What do you think? Do you think it's that serious that people need to be enveloped in this right now? Or do you think they still have time to dabble?
I don't think people have time to dabble. I think every dealership should have, whatever this means to them, an AI strategy. Like, where are we leveraging AI? What's on the horizon next after we tackle this and get this right? Like, it needs to be part of how you're thinking about operating your dealership in 6 to 12 months. I mean, I think if you're a GM of a car dealership in the not too distant future, you'll be able to just talk to an agent and say, what are the customers I have in my database that are most likely to close today? Who should I reach out to? Or it's the last day of the month. I've got to sell 3 more cars to hit my number. Who should I be focusing my time on? And AI is going to just be serving up those opportunities to you and basically letting you know where you should be spending your time versus where you should not. So that's, like, we're talking a lot about agents interacting with your customers. That's where we focus, super important. But the way you operate your dealership in the next year or two is really going to be driven by AI. So it's, there is no time to delay, Sean. There is not.
No, and that's what I want you to do is, look, man, I'm not trying to do doom and gloom, but you are, part of a multi-billion dollar organization. So I really appreciate you on the show because, look, there's a lot of people could talk about this stuff, but you know what I hate? And I don't mean disrespectful to anything to broke people, but I'm not going to go to a broke person as a multimillionaire that I am and ask him where to put my money. Okay, let me go do that. That's smart. Let me go to some broke ass person that's a financial advisor at, abcisuck.com and ask him where I'm going to put my millions of dollars. That's never going to happen because they can't even pay attention. How are they going to tell me where I'm going to put my money? So I want to go to the source. So if I'm going to a multi-billion dollar company that's got 110,000 clients, 9,000 car dealers, and it's innovating and pioneering stuff, I really don't care what basic people think. I want to know what the Leviathans think. I want to know what you're doing and why you're doing it. I seen that meme, like, a wolf doesn't ask sheep its opinions. I mean, a wolf doesn't really care what the sheep's opinions are or anything. I don't really care what broke people have to say. I care about people like you, Ross, that have to say. And if you're like, man, you don't have time to dabble, then dealers, pay attention. You don't have time to dabble, because when you wake up out of the ether, you're going to be unemployed, or you're going to be like, you ever see those commercials, not commercials, those cartoons where there's the whirlwind and they've got nothing. They're just butt ass naked. You know what I mean? Like, the cartoon without showing their stuff. And they're like, that's what's going to happen. You're going to turn around and you're going to be broke. You're like, what happened? Everybody just done wrapped up this AI stuff, and you were sitting there thinking it's hip hop music that's going to go out of style one day. And just like hip hop, you're going to be wrong. It's here.
Yep. Yeah. I agree. So
give us next steps. Okay. There's a lot to unpack and process this year. Bottom line is AI good. AI, do you need AI? So where do they start?
Yes. Okay. Yeah. I mean, listen, if you're interested in exploring it, or you're working with someone and not loving the results you're getting, like, it's probably worth your time to have a conversation. So podium.com/automotive, easy way to get in touch with us. Again, our intent is to understand what you're really looking to solve and we'll show you what makes sense. We're not just going to demo you for the sake of running you through everything we do. So that's how we'll approach the conversation. If you want to reach me, it's ross@podium.com. Very easy, first name at podium.com. And happy to have a conversation there as well. So we love to talk about it, Sean. So yeah, please hit us up.
All right, this is SVB in the place to be, and you've been rocking with Ross Tinkham of Podium. All right, everybody, I appreciate you. See you when I see you.
Thank you.
Ross, what'd you think?
I thought that was great. The energy you bring, Sean, is always unmatched by anyone else I ever talked to. So.
Oh, I'm trying to tone it down because it's been a while, and I make coffee nervous, as you know. So I wanted to just make sure that you eased into it with me again today. So we're good, my brother. We're going to edit this up. It's going to sound brilliant, and we're going to go from there. Okay, my friend?
Sounds good. Thank you very much, man.
Appreciate you, sir.
Thank you so much for watching this week's episode. If you liked it, you're going to love Bradley On Demand. Bradley On Demand is the most advanced virtual training, tracking, testing, and certification platform. What does that mean? It's an online university. And if you like this information here, we have hundreds and hundreds of advanced videos, step by step, on how to help you sell more cars more often and more profitably. So sign up now.